Doorways Magazine.
Journal of Horror and the Paranormal.
Our stories and columns as doorways to transport you to other places.
Some of those places may scare you.
Others make you sit back and think.
But all of them are here to take you out of your ordinary life for just a little while.
Where nothing follows the rules.
Where commonplace events have uncommon consequences.
Where the sound you hear.
Where the sound you hear or the movement you see from the corner of your eye is just as scary and strange as your imagination says it might be.
Visit us at doorwaypublications.com.
Hi, this is Roughhouse of Parahub Radio, the internet's only rock and roll paranormal extravaganza. Thanks for downloading this week's podcast. Now, this is a stripped-down version of our weekly show without the music and the commercials. If you'd like to hear the whole show, join us on Thursdays beginning at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, and 3 a.m. in the UK. Just go to parahub.org and you can hear the whole show and chat with us. Thanks for downloading this week's show. Hope you enjoy it. Parahub Radio, the internet's only rock and roll paranormal extravaganza. Fleetwood Mac and the University of Southern California Marching Band, title track from the Tusk CD. Hi, my name is Roughhouse, and welcome to Rocktober, one of my favorite times of the year. Probably yours, too, if you're into the paranormal, as, you know, obviously most of you are, or you wouldn't have been tuning in tonight. Joining me, we got Paula, Anthony, and Katz. Pete, again, with the night off. He gets more flippin' nights off than any one person I know. How does he do it? How did he get the contract to do that? I don't know.
And he still gets paid too. I don't understand.
Yeah.
He does a lot of work on, behind the scenes with doing what's the word I'm thinking of? Interviews. He's our interviews coordinator. And we were just commenting, he's got us booked until 2012. And as Paula said, there's no sense in, scheduling us after that because we're going to die. The world's going to blow up or something, according to, was it the Aztec calendar or something?
The Mayans.
Is it Mayan? My theory on that, these guys were doing this calendar. And, they're just, at the time, there was no writing. They're chiseling it away into rock. This guy, that's doing this calendar has now gotten 1,000 years past any time that he's going to be around. I'm thinking he's probably thought to himself, you know what? The heck with it. I'm not doing anymore. I'm tired. And just never got back to it. That's my theory.
No.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Actually,
a lot of work.
They made predictions based on patterns in history.
No, the guy was just tired. I'm telling you, that's all it is. He just got tired of doing calendars for, centuries that he's not even going to be around. Why do it?
Yeah, eventually he just said, screw this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to end in 2012. I think we're going to have to suffer a lot more after
I think
that.
you're onto something there.
It's not the first time, but by gosh, somebody will take credit for it.
Yep, I will.
Of course you will. Lots of stuff to talk about here tonight that I probably should have asked you guys if you wanted to talk about it on the air. Paula has been telling some people stuff. Do you want to talk about it?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and spring it now. We'll make it formally public. Ladies and gentlemen, Paula Jedi with some breaking news. In case you haven't heard.
Breaking news. There's going to be another little Jedi in the world.
Yay!
Yay! Explains why I'm falling asleep on the air.
It explains the last couple weeks. Your attitude's
does.
Your attitude's been kind of squirrely, So, we've been trying to think what is wrong with Paula. Now we know.
That explains it.
Paula's going to have she's going to have Jedi
crazy emotional outbursts.
Jedi number
you
2.
You heard me today when a bill collector called.
Well, see, and you can use that excuse now. You can call back tomorrow and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm pregnant. I didn't mean, that I was going to really rip your head off.
No, I didn't apologize.
That's what I'm saying. You can use that now, though.
So what's the expected due date?
What do you?
Somewhere around June 8th.
Katz, are you in a different room from your mic?
No, I'm right here.
There you go. Okay,
She laid down and almost fell asleep too.
I'm telling you. What was the due date? You think?
Somewhere around June 8th.
June, so you don't have to go too far into the summer carrying it. You know.
It's still going to be too hot for her, even if it's spring.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to time their pregnancies around here so that they're born before the summer.
Right.
As you can imagine.
Well, the thing is, like when Chloe was born in April, it was starting to get hot, and then I never wanted to take her out because I thought she was going to fall asleep and die in the heat.
Right. And then you found out otherwise. Now you're like, putting her in the oven, hoping it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right.
You're not really, are you?
No, I'm not a cannibal.
Well, I wasn't saying you were going to eat her. She is in those terrible twos now, I think, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Terrible twos.
It's very two.
And congratulations on that. I know you're just thrilled, and we are too. And if there's anything we can do, don't call us.
Hey, come babysit.
Now, also, Halloween is what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3 weeks away. 3 weeks and a couple days away. And Cats needs a costume.
I have my costume picked out.
It's an awesome costume, too.
It is. I'd wear it and take pictures of me in it on MySpace.
Where is...
Catwoman.
Yeah, okay, you have to give everybody the website, the web address.
You know what?
So they can see
I don't
this thing.
have it. You do. I emailed it to you.
Well,
You guys. So whoever has it, if you could relay it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you're really interested in getting Cats this costume, Google Ghostbusters sexy outfit, and you'll find
right
it.
Now.
Is that see? Okay, see, Anthony's looking at it right
didn't
now.
you get it? Oh, you got it. Okay.
I did, but I don't know that I opened up and looked at the costume.
Yeah,
You're asking us
See?
to actually do work around here.
She
See?
didn't send it to me, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I thought I did.
Nope.
Oh, you ought to see this
Sorry,
thing.
well, I'll
When
send
did
it to
you
you.
send it?
If I-
2
Oh, I
weeks
don't
ago.
remember now.
It was like a week ago or so. But
Oh, damn it! I slept since then.
but
I know, right?
Katz is looking for some sugar daddy to buy her a Halloween costume. So if you're interested, Google Ghostbusters sexy outfit. I'm sure you'll find it. Hi to everybody who's in the chat room tonight. Brian is in there. Brian's from Doorways Magazine, our new sponsor, and we'll be talking with him in about an hour or so. Give about 45 minutes. We'll talk with Brian about Doorways Magazine, how you can get the latest copy that features... why is his name escaping me right at the top of my head? I see the magazine cover, and I can't think of his face. It's a great magazine if you like paranormal fiction, if you like paranormal articles, poems, all kinds of stuff like that. Check it out at doorwayspublications.com. There you go, doorwayspublications.com. And, hey, you know what? I am going to make an appearance on the week of Halloween, speaking of Halloween, at Zombie Walk Jacksonville. This is a pretty cool little thing that it's going on all over the United States on Sunday the 26th of October. Basically, there are about a dozen cities that are going to be participating in this, including where Anthony and Paula are in Tampa. There's one in Orlando. There's one supposedly around here near Cape Canaveral. But I'm going to be at the one which is in North Florida in Jacksonville. So if you find yourself in the North Florida area, come on by. We're going to do the Zombie Walk. If you've never seen this thing, it's one of the most unusual parades you'll ever see. Katz, how close is Tucson to you?
Cats got hung
She
up on.
dropped off.
What? Because there's one in Tucson as well, and one in Houston, and I'm thinking, maybe we can all, go to our respective cities and, check this thing out. I will actually be emceeing the show afterward, the after party for the Zombie Walk. But basically, what it happens is hundreds, maybe thousands of people, even in Sydney, Australia, and somewhere in France, they're doing this. People dress up like zombies and basically do a walk. And the whole purpose of the thing, it's a hunger, to eradicate hunger or to help feed the hungry, I should say. So everybody brings one of those cans of non-perishable food, and then they go to the food bank or wherever it is, and they pass it out. So it is for a good cause. We're not just showing up in makeup for makeup's sake, but it should be a lot of fun. Paula Jedi's latest paranormal news is coming up in just a few, so hang in there. We're Parahub Radio, the internet's only rock and roll paranormal extravaganza.
Parahub Radio News.
Parahub Radio News brought to you by Doorways Magazine. Make sure you stop by and check them out. Doorways Publication, or is it Doorways Magazine? No, it's doorwayspublication.com. I had to double-check myself there. Go on by there and check out the latest edition featuring Clive Barker. That was the name I was trying to think of a little while ago. Paula's here with the latest paranormal news. What is going on in the world today?
Well, I have some big breaking news for you tonight, everybody. Halloween has officially been canceled.
Canceled?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Is this April 1st? Ow! Don't do that. That's my favorite holiday.
Everybody.
That's like telling me that Santa Claus died. No, don't do that.
Okay. Our buddy Jeff, is it Belanger?
Yep.
Or Bellinger? Belanger.
Jeff Belanger.
Jeff Belanger has just released a children's book about ghosts in the White House. And the funny thing is, I wrote a poem about ghosts in the White House when I was a little kid. Really? So this is kind of cool.
Cool.
Anyway, the book is called Who's Haunting the White House? The President's Mansion and the Ghosts Who Live There. Awesome. And you can check it out at www.jeffbelanger.com. That's JEFFBELANGER.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And he also created a paranormal website for children at kids.ghostvillage.com.
Awesome. Ghostvillage.com is an awesome website, too. If you ever have, if you can't remember some of the stuff you hear, then just go to ghostvillage.com, and I'm sure he'll link you up there, too. So, kids.ghostvillage.com. What else is going on?
Well, there's a pumpkin shortage for Halloween this
Oh,
no. Which has risen the price of pumpkins to about $5 million each. No, just kidding.
Man. It's sad when you can go out and buy one of these plastic ones for, a tenth of a real one.
Anyway, they're blaming drought conditions in Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Ohio, and cooler temperatures in Texas.
Yeah.
So it's Pete's fault.
Yeah, it's all Pete's fault. By gosh. I've tried to grow pumpkins here in Florida for several years. Never been able to do it. I can get them to vine, I can get them to flower, and then they just wilt. So I don't know what it takes. I guess
water.
Much cooler. Well, I have plenty of water here, but I think it's just too darn hot for them. Those sensitive little pumpkins.
Okay, well, a poltergeist decided to follow a kid home from a camping trip near a church in Horsham, England this week.
Where?
You.
I just wanted to hear you say it. Where?
I can't slip any of these past you.
Say it again? I just wanted to hear you say whore.
Okay, maybe. Oh.
It was just me, sorry. I don't actually know what the I don't know what
Horsham.
You may be right, but I just wanted to hear you.
They usually say maybe it's Hersham.
I don't know. Maybe some of our British listeners can jump in the chat room and tell us, how it's pronounced.
Anyway,
what's going on in Horsham?
A ghost followed an 18-year-old kid home from a camping trip, and while he was camping, he saw strange lights and he heard a girl screaming. And ever since he came home, doors were opening and closing by themselves in his house, and he has shadows moving around his bedroom.
I have no response to that. Normally I would have a joke there, but I don't.
Poor kid.
Where's Pete when you need him? He would have some off-color, totally inappropriate comment to make right there. But I got nothing.
Okay, now Philip Mantle of England is going to reveal his Roswell UFO research findings at a conference this month. He's going to show more evidence of a second landing site in the same desert in Roswell.
A second landing site. Okay. I have heard rumor of that, actually. So he's going to prove it?
Apparently so.
How do you prove that? You can't prove the first one.
I don't know. Maybe he dug something up. Go to the conference. Find out.
Where and
Shall
when?
see.
They actually did not say where or when. They said this month.
Oh, so the conference is going to be held in secret. So I guess if you were meant to
Not a
be,
secret anymore.
yeah, if you were meant to be there, they'd let you know. And wear black.
If you're psychic, you will know.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, a college student in Ferndale, Michigan, threw holy water at her professor last month. Okay. At the Taft Education Center because she thought she was a witch for teaching about the book The Crucible. And that book is about the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
But the holy water wasn't the problem. She also brought a lighter and was ready to burn her.
That's awesome. How many of us have ever wanted to do that to our teacher in school? I actually played. What was the sheriff's name in The Crucible? We actually acted that out in class. I think it was American History, and I played the sheriff. I was the guy that got to throw the rocks on the one man that was executed and all this. I felt powerful.
Aren't you lucky?
Did you actually throw rocks?
No, but I did try to set my teacher on fire.
Good.
Yeah, I got expelled. Had to go to a new class.
That explains it.
Had to go to a whole new school, and But anyway, I digress.
Well, I'm actually lacking really good news. The news really sucked this week, but
Here's a bit of advice. Don't tell us that.
no, I don't mean my news sucked. No, I don't mean my news sucked. The news out there.
Oh, okay. Wasn't a lot of paranormal news. And that's funny considering it's the second week of October. You'd think it'd be everywhere. I guess maybe people are busy. I don't know.
Well, I look up Halloween news, and it's all from 2007. And
yeah, and we only do the latest paranormal news. We don't get any of that year-old crap. No, if it didn't happen yesterday, we don't talk about it. Or if it has yet to happen or in secret, like this conference, this UFO conference that only special people are allowed to be at. But anyway, it's funny. I did look for some paranormal news. There really isn't a whole lot out there right now, and I just guess because there's so much going on. Or maybe because it's a 3-day weekend, people have taken the week off. I don't know. Columbus Day is Monday. Some people have the day off. It's a federal holiday in the United States. Not a lot of people celebrate that day, but, I will.
woohoo!
But that's just me.
Party.
I'm going to build 3 ships, put them in the lake, and conquer conquer an island somewhere.
Oh, you almost said planet.
I almost said a planet. I did. I can do that too. Because I am omnipotent. He used a big word. Oh. Anyway, we got to wrap it up here.
Okay, from the internet's only rock and roll paranormal extravaganza, I'm Paula Jedi with Parahub Radio News, sponsored by Doorways Magazine. Be sure to get the latest edition featuring Clive Barker at www.doorwayspublications.com.
Our interview with Deborah Pickman, a former resident of the Sally House, coming up.
Parahub Radio. Doorways Magazine.
Journal of Horror.
And the paranormal. Our stories and columns as doorways to transport you to other places.
Some of those places may scare you.
Others make you sit back and think.
But all of them are here to take you out of your ordinary life for just a little while.
Where nothing follows the rules.
Where commonplace events have uncommon consequences.
Where the sound you hear.
Where the sound you hear or the movement you see from the corner of your eye is just as scary and strange as your imagination says it might be.
Visit us at doorwaypublications.com.
Parahub Radio, the internet's only rock and roll paranormal extravaganza. Hi, my name is Roughhouse, and joining me tonight, Paula, Anthony, and Katz. Pete has the night off tonight. And right now, live on the line, somebody that a lot of you know. You've probably met her, and if you haven't met Deborah, then you've probably heard of a little house that she used to live in, which is now known as the Sally House. Welcome, Deborah. How you doing?
Oh, thank you. Very good, thank you.
Good. So tell me a little bit about the Sally House. Now, I've heard things here and there from different people who have done investigations. We know Peter James, who passed away just a little over a year ago, has been there. Tell me a little bit about this house and where it's at.
We are in Atchison, Kansas, and it's on 2nd Street right along the river, about 4 miles from the Missouri Bluffs. Very small, unassuming little house, just a plain little house.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved in, had paranormal activity probably within 30 days or so, not realizing that it was paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until after my son was born that things kind of escalated a little bit, to the point where he wasn't sleeping at night. My sister came to visit with us, and on her last day, it was a night we'll never forget. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, when you say paranormal activity, you aren't kidding.
Yeah, it started out very, very unobtrusive, and just little things that you can easily blame on something else. You can logically say, oh well, that was the wind, or that was my husband, or but after a while, the scratches and things kind of picking up and flying through the air, that was not something you could just kind of blow off.
Right. For anybody who is interested in kind of following along with us here, I think the website is thesallyhouse.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
because
it is.
I know there is a sallyhouse.com, which is not affiliated with you.
Right.
But so you add the Sally House, SALLIE house.com, and you can kind of follow along with us because let me tell you, this is when you talk about ghost stories and spooky stuff, this stuff it's hardcore. I mean, we're talking about people getting scratched and slapped, and I'll let Deborah tell you that she was there. You actually lived in this house, right?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough not to get the physical brunt of the activity, and unfortunately it was my husband.
Yeah.
And everything from scratched and burned and cut, dreams kind of infiltrating his emotions, and he didn't quite feel right when he was there, almost like he was not himself. And as soon as we would leave the house and take the day and go somewhere else, it was like a big load lifted from him.
Yeah.
He just felt himself again, normal.
Mm-hmm. Now, these scratches, they weren't just little subtle ones, right?
Some of them were, surface scratches, but some of them were pretty gouging.
Mm-hmm.
One of them almost brought him to his knees. He was holding our infant son.
Right.
And it was when sightings went back to the house, it was after we had left, and we just kind of popped in with him because we had become friends with the group that had come in, the staff that had come in to do the investigation so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And we just popped in to see how they were doing, and their goal was to see what had changed, if anything, since we had left. And when we went in, he felt this pain in his back that just, but like I said, about dropped him to his knees.
Yeah. I believe there was a television show. Was it A Haunting that did the story on this?
There's actually been a couple. There's Unexplained Mysteries, A Haunting, which I have to say neither of us were really pleased with the depiction there.
You're the second person to tell us that about A Haunting.
Yeah. I think they try real hard, and we were really surprised that after the 2 days of interviewing and detailed interviewing, they had skewed the material facts so grossly.
Wow.
Misrepresented it, and it really makes you wonder about the other shows that are done.
Yeah, I don't remember who we were talking to about a month ago. Said that somebody had come in and done from A Haunting had done the same thing, had all the facts, had everything done, and then when they watched the show, it was kind of the story, but not really. It
was almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, so I don't know. Those kind of shows.
The truest depiction out there that has been done to date is the movie Heartland Ghost.
Heartland Ghost, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think you can get that at Amazon. I think even some of the movie, or not the movie theaters, the rental theaters
Right.
have those available.
Absolutely. We're
And
talking.
I'm not plugging it because we make any money off of it or anything, because we don't. But it is the best depiction of the facts.
Right, and it's a great story. I mean, it's a horrible story, but it's it's a great thing to watch, because I mean there is a story to it. So much of the paranormal investigations we do, and I know you do investigations yourself. It's
Correct.
just a lot of hurry up and wait. There's not a lot going on.
Right,
and
right.
The unfortunate.
Oh, wow, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. The unfortunate thing is that it was a tragic thing that you guys went through, because I'm guessing you don't live in the house anymore.
No, we've been out for almost 15 years.
Right.
How long did you live there?
Almost 2 years.
Okay.
And the stuff happened right from the beginning, I'm guessing.
Pretty well. From
Okay.
probably 30 days in, yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody warn you ahead of time when you went into the house?
No, I don't think that anybody realized that there were any paranormal events or experiences that had taken place.
Oh, okay.
After sightings first came out, after their first airing, a previous resident had come knocking at our door and said, "Oh my gosh, my daughter used to play with a little imaginary friend named Sally."
Uh-huh.
And this poor little girl would get scolded and reprimanded for having her toys all over the place, and the little girl would say, "Well, I didn't do it, Sally did it."
Right.
And so there may have been paranormal events in that way.
Right.
There was another resident, previous resident, who had lived there as a young child, and there was an unexplained fire in her brother's room, which in fact was what we had made into the nursery, and that was never explained. So I think that there was activity there, but I don't think it was recognized as such.
Right. Right. Like I said, we're talking with Deborah Pickman. She used to live in what is called the Sally House. Now, when Peter James was there with sightings, were they the first to do the investigation on the house?
Yeah, I would say so. And they came back probably 5 times.
Yeah. And how? I guess it was Peter that discovered why we call it the Sally House now. Can you tell us that story?
Well, I'm not sure if it was Peter, although I give Peter a huge amount of credit for what he does in the field. In fact, I have a dedication on our website, on our home page, for him, because he was just an awesome person in the field. But we did have less experienced psychic come in, and she had come up with the name Sally. Mm-hmm. And then when the previous resident came over and said, my daughter played with a Sally, and then Peter came along and said, is your name Sally? I mean, it was all, validation. And Peter picked up a lot of medical reference. He picked up a couple other spirits, one that was trying to keep him out of the master bedroom. And at this point, we did realize that we had 2 spirits in the house, or what we thought was 2 spirits in the house. One was a female and one was a little girl. And it just kind of escalated from there. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know it. There's a new book coming out next year that Peter had written, I guess obviously before he passed away, duh. Mm-hmm. But he talks about the Sally House in it, because I got a preview to take a look at a small look at it, and that he pretty much lays it out, from the beginning to end, how he got there and all. And I want to throw it to one of our co-hosts here, Paula. She's got a question for you.
Okay.
Yes. Hi there. I was wondering, how did your children handle the spirits, if they even noticed?
Well, at the time when we moved in, I was pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant, so my oldest son was born in the house, and interesting, the first probably 6 weeks, and this is when my sister came down to help us out, the first 6 weeks, he was waking every hour on the hour. We were the most tired parents on the face of the earth, I swear. And he was sleeping in our room, not even in the nursery, because he was so little we wanted him, close. Mm-hmm. And we just couldn't figure out why he was waking. I mean, he was clean, he was dry, everything that he's supposed to be, and he should have been sleeping peacefully. And as he got older, he'd be sitting in like the baby swing or something, and his head would just kind of fly around back and forth up near the ceiling. He was watching something, almost as if something was trying to entertain him and keep his attention. Mm-hmm. So, other than what we can infer from little one's actions, can't really say how children were affected there.
They weren't, afraid to go in the house or anything like that. I mean, how long were you in the house?
Almost 2 years. So we moved out when he was probably 16 months old.
Okay, so he wasn't, actually aware of what was going on.
Right.
Did anything happen to your kids? As far as like the scratches and all.
No. Tony was the only one that was actually physically, we're going to call it attacked. Yeah.
And that brings me to your husband. He's an intuitive, if I'm read correctly.
He has come to realize that over the latter years here.
Has anybody maybe taken a look at him and possibly maybe he brought it from somewhere, or maybe you yourself might have brought it in?
I don't think so, because like I said, there were references and there were experiences prior to us being there that kind of point in the direction that there was activity.
Okay.
I do think, however, that the house, the energy of the house, the energies of the entities in the house may have been somewhat of a catalyst for what he's able to pick up on now.
Mm-hmm. We're talking with Deborah Pickman, a former resident of the Sally House. Do you do investigations now?
We do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's the group that you're with?
Actually, we work independently with a couple different groups.
Okay.
We used to work with Kansas Paranormal Group out of Kansas City, and they actually co-founded the website with us. We still have one of their past members who is an integral part of the website. Her name's Renee, and she's awesome with the EVPs. She's got an amazing ear and can pull out EVPs that are just wonderful. In fact, the website, I think we've got about 90 EVPs up on the website right now, and I have to say that they're probably amongst the best ones out there.
Right. Yeah, there are quite a few EVP I saw there on your website, and if anybody wants to go check those out, it's www.thesallyhouse.com, and that's SALLIEHOUSE. Got some more questions. One from the chat room here. Let's see. Tony's traumatic events of the past. Could they? Let's see. What's it say here? Could you ask about Tony's traumatic events of the past that could mirror the Sally attacks? Oh, had he been attacked before?
No, he had a very frightening experience when he was probably 7 in his bedroom. Kind of like an evil face grasping the side of a sliding closet door. And poking out the red eyes, the white gaunt face.
Like the Amityville kind of stuff.
Yeah, that pretty well put a damper on his interest at all in the paranormal, and he wasn't open to it at all when we lived there.
Yeah.
We fought like cats and dogs every time somebody wanted to come in and try and help us, and he just wanted to tune it out and forget about it and pretend it wasn't there.
Now, how long have you been doing investigations? I mean, was this kind of a catalyst for you, or had you been doing it before?
No, I had always had an interest in the paranormal, always wanted an experience of my own. But up until it was after we left the house that I actually started going back to the house with some of the other groups that would investigate the house. I consider myself a logical and kind of a scientific person, as far as my approach to trying to solve something or get answers. And so, a lot of that took place while we lived there, as far as trying to figure out logical reasons or explanations for the activities that we did have.
Right.
But once we left the house and I started going back, I got a real interest in it all, and it's just kind of grown from there. And since then, Tony's been kind of pulled in that direction as well, and he, instead of being the victim, he goes in as an investigator.
Right.
And I think that that's probably very different from a lot of people who have, traumatic haunting experiences. Usually they, tuck tail and run.
Right.
And I think that it's important for people to understand, for them to try and figure out what's going on and get a grasp on what they were experiencing.
And so did that help prevent some of the attacks, going in with that different mindset?
I do want to say yeah, because the first couple times that we went back in, and I'm going to say when Tony went back in, not myself, because I was never really attacked.
Mm-hmm.
The first few times that Tony went in, he got some superficial scratches, but he went in with the mindset that this wasn't in the devil, and that's what he thought when we were there. He went in with the mindset that, you know, these were human spirits and they were interacting or trying to communicate. And so going in with that and trying and kind of releasing his own inhibitions on, you know, what he expected,
Mm-hmm.
he went in countless times and was never harmed at all.
Right. Is Tony, your husband Tony, is he comfortable doing this kind of stuff? I mean, does he ever come away from an investigation and go, I don't want to do that again?
No, I think that it's really opened up the door of curiosity for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he enjoys it now, and I think that because of his intuitive nature,
Mm-hmm.
things just kind of come to him, and it's not something that you can just shut down.
Right.
And he's learning to live with it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's learning that, you know, he can help in the investigation atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
with what he's able to pick up on.
Right.
And I think he's getting more comfortable with that.
Now, the house is still standing, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is still owned by the same owner,
Uh-huh.
and at this point, it has been empty for about 4 years, since early 2004.
Yeah? Do they still do investigations through there, or is it kind of a museum kind of thing, or what's
No,
it
not a
do?
museum. It is actually rentable, but the owner hasn't rented. He does allow investigative groups in there. I don't know what his selection is as far as who he lets in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's been talk of, you know, maybe renting it out, but that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Well, I can kind of imagine with the reputation the house has, it might be hard to rent out.
Well, and he says he's got a lot of people that are interested in moving in.
Huh.
And I guess some people do seek those situations out, but I wouldn't suggest it in this case, because there's some not very good things going on in that house.
Have you guys determined whether it's spirit or demonic?
I want to say both.
Oh, okay. Because it's
I think that there is a dark force in there, a dark entity in there, and I want to say that was made evident to us on our last visit, which was last August.
Mm-hmm.
Tony was actually picked up off the floor and thrown 4 feet backwards into a wall.
Okay, so you guys have been back there since you left, obviously.
Yeah. We've been back probably a dozen times or so.
Yeah. How does he feel about that? I mean, is it something he wants to do? Tony, your husband?
To go back to the house?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that we will ever go back to the house, not after the experience that we had. We know that there's dangers there. We know that there's spirit there. We know that there's not nice things there. And we know that we were manipulated. And
Manipulated, what do you mean by that?
Well, I think that the negative force that's in there uses the human spirit as a shield
Mm-hmm.
to present itself. At this point, and people always ask us, you know, about, you know, the name Sally. Well, how did we come to this name? This little girl was presented to us as Sally,
Mm-hmm.
but we have found no documented or historical references that there was ever a little girl named Sally that lived there or visited there or doctored there with a doctor that lived there.
Mm-hmm.
We really have no basis for that. And so we have an idea that the dark entity that's in the house has presented itself in a couple different forms to try and gain trust.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean about the manipulation. EVPs that have, you know, tried to bring us back in because there's a lot of communication through the EVPs. And it's just something that it's hard because as an investigator, you're not supposed to be jostled by something like that.
Right, exactly. You're not supposed to run, dude. You know.
Right.
You know.
But I think that this house is so different, and we've spent so long there. We've gotten, you know, so much information, and so many theories have come about because of the work that has been done over the house.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure that we can go any farther with that house. I think, our goal right now is to apply what we've learned from the house, or what we think we've learned from the house, to other locations.
Right. Let me open it back up here. If anybody, any of the other co-hosts have a question, jump in here.
Yeah, you said you said that you got a lot of EVPs there. I was wondering if there were any that you'd like to, kind of spotlight or draw our attention to when we're searching the site.
What are your favorite ones?
Oh, I have one. I haven't gotten it on the website yet. It was actually my first EVP, and we were sitting around in the living room just talking. There were 5 of us. It was Tony's first time back into the house. Actually, his second time back into the house after we had left. Mm-hmm. And we were just sitting around talking about some of the research, talking about what we did last Saturday. Just common conversation. Mm-hmm. And I had turned my recorder on and just kind of set it on the table in front of us. And that's kind of like my way of recording. I don't announce. I just kind of set it on a banister or a table or something like that and walk away from it.
Right.
And very clearly, you can hear what sounds like 3 children playing, like 2 or 3 feet away from us. And it sounds like they're playing like a card game or something, and one of them says, "Hit me." And the other one says, "Hit me." And then one little frustrated little voice says, "I don't want to play this."
Wow.
I'll have to get that up on the site. It's very clear. It's amazing the clarity of the EVPs that we do and that we have gotten there.
Wow, you don't usually get them that long. Usually it's just a word or two,
Yeah, and we have several. We've got one. I think it was in the kitchen. Renee got this one, and she's very good at communicating. She's got a rapport with the spirits over there at the house, and she was talking to a spirit that we had come to know as Joanna. And she's talking to Joanna and asking her something, and Joanna says, "Come on in."
Wow.
Just kind of like in a raspy, you can tell it's female, but it's very, very clear. There's a little slave boy in the house, and he comes up to the microphone on one of the DVRs, one of the digital video recorders, and she asks, if there's anybody here, come and speak into this mic with the red light. And he comes up and says, "Name's Paul."
Wow.
And Joanna, because we recognize the voice, tells us he's a slave.
Wow, you actually have conversations with these. I mean, you're pretty intimate with these ghosts, and
Well, not myself as much as Renee is, but she has some phenomenal EVP.
Wow.
She just knew how to get them to come out. We would be sitting around, and we would intentionally misquote a birth date or, some piece of data, and there were times where we were corrected.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And you can find these some of these EVPs at thesallyhouse.com. That's SALLIEHOUSE.com. Make sure you put "the" on the beginning of it, because there is a sallyhouse.com, but it's a completely different site, and you won't see this kind of stuff here. Well, thank you so much, Deborah, for coming on to the show. Is there anything else? Are you doing any conventions or anything in the near future?
We're actually set to do a convention up in Canada. I'm trying to remember, Serena, Ontario, next August.
Wow, cool. Oh, yeah. That's the one with our friend
Robbie Thomas.
Yeah, Robbie is putting his thing on. He's supposed to be on the show here in a little while, or a few months, to talk about that. Because he's been there, and he says that place is scary. It scared him.
Yeah, everybody has an experience, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So, well, cool. We'll look forward to that. Thank you so much, Deborah, for coming on the show.
Thank you for the time as well.
All righty. Hi, my name is Roughhouse. Welcome to Rocktober, and welcome to Parahub Radio. On the line with us, Paula and Anthony. Katz has disappeared. We don't know why. She's probably fallen into some fourth dimension, which is not unusual for this show. We quite often do it. Also on the line with us right now, Brian, who is the what's your official title with the magazine? Owner, editor, Blackie?
Yeah, I'm the owner. I definitely wouldn't consider myself an editor. I hire people to do that, but Yeah, definitely the owner.
Brian is the owner of Doorways Magazine, which is Parahub Radio's new sponsor. This is a great magazine from what I've seen. How long have you guys been publishing this magazine?
About a year and a half.
So it's like every 3 months, so about 7 issues, 6 issues, something like that into it?
Yeah, we're on 7.
On 7 right now. The current issue out there right now people can get. Where can they find this magazine? Is it in stores?
Yeah, you can find it at most of the major stores like Barnes & Nobles. You can find it in Chapters in Canada. And basically any of the major stores.
Yeah, and they can get it online as well?
Oh, yeah, you can go to doorwayspublications.com and you can actually, pay by PayPal, and I will send the copy out for those orders.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about the magazine. What do you guys focus in on?
Well, we do a little bit of both paranormal and horror. Half of the magazine is short stories, We've actually published some bigger name writers like Joe Lansdale, Jack Ketchum, and then we also like to definitely publish, writers that are unknown that people should know about. And we definitely try to focus on that. We also publish nonfiction, which is articles on anything, the unknown, paranormal, whatever. It's some things that we think people should know about that they might not know about. We try to find articles that on subjects that maybe people haven't heard about yet. We don't, like a lot of people heard about Bigfoot, and we try not to publish stuff like that because that's been done.
So do you mainly focus on, say, like ghost hunting and things like that, and stay away from the cryptozoology stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we definitely do ghost hunting articles. The cryptology stuff, we'll publish that, but we'll try to get away from some of the stuff that's been done over and over. But there's a lot of stuff in that field that people might not know about, too.
Give me an example of one of your articles over the past year and a half that people might, like. Nope.
Well, there was one that a guy did on dragons, which was really interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go.
I think it was in issue number 3, if I'm not mistaken. I have the issues here in front of me, but,
well, of course, you're an owner. You probably got dozens of issues sitting there in front of you.
Look, yeah, but definitely the one on the dragons is, something different that, people might not know a lot about.
Do you have a staff?
Definitely a lot of cemeteries and stuff like that there's 2 or 3 articles I know that we've published on cemeteries. I know Di Barron, she does an article in every issue that people really enjoy.
Cool. Do you have a staff that does this, or is this kind of a voluntary kind of thing? People submit stuff to you.
Well, I got, like I said, Di Barron, she has her own column that she does in each issue. But we basically take submissions. I mean, there's a couple writers that have their own column, but my staff is basically, my art director, editors, but we don't really have a staff of writers. We just got a couple people that have their own columns. Basically, we take submissions.
Right. Well, what does it take to start a magazine like that?
Patience.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to have a good team. I mean, without the team that I have, there's no way it would, it would exist. You have to put a good team together first.
Right.
And then everybody has to be on the same page and want to make it happen.
Were you doing paranormal? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said the team thing there. That's the main thing.
Right. Were you doing those paranormal investigations? Is that what got you rolling into this?
Actually, I was interested in that. I watched Ghost Hunters and all that, and I was interested in the paranormal. I was also interested in horror, so I decided to create a magazine that had both. Now, I have now created a team called DIG, which is Doorway's Investigation Group. So I'm going to start doing investigations.
Right.
And my goal is to have an official group in each state for the DIG,
Right, kind of like Ghost Hunters have done, or TAPS has done.
Right. There'll be a Doorways group in each state that will feed us information back that we can publish in the magazine.
Okay,
and there'll be some in Canada too.
Is this the focus of the magazine? Is it basically to inform everybody or entertainment, or what direction? When you look at this magazine and somebody picks it up, what are they going to get? Are they going to be entertained by it?
I think both. I mean, definitely the nonfiction articles are going to inform you, but the short stories are going to entertain you. But the articles are definitely entertaining too, but they're true. So we're trying to inform you with the articles that we put in them.
Right. How much does the magazine run for you? When you pick it up?
$6.75 is what the last issue was. We're gonna, $6.75. But we have, because of printing costs going up and everything, we have to bump that up to $7.75 with this next coming issue.
Right. Yeah, you got to kind of adjust for inflation with the way things are right now, and that's actually still not a bad price for a magazine. I've seen some that are up there, $20 for a magazine.
Yeah, and you can get the 4 issues a year for $20.
4 issues a year for $20. Right.
Right, and that doesn't include the shipping. So.
Okay. Yeah, because you only do it every quarter, once a quarter.
Right.
Right. So, well, go check this magazine out. It's called Doorways. You can get it at Barnes & Noble or any of the other book dealers around in your area. And if you don't have one in your area, then just go to Doorways Publications. Make sure you put the S on the end there, .com. And you can sign up for a subscription. Please do, because these guys, Brian has been great to be our new sponsor for the remainder of the year. We do want to thank you so much for that. Even though you didn't know what you were getting into.
Doing a great job too.
Well, thanks. Because Brian kind of said okay, and not really, didn't even know us. I think this is actually the first time you and I have spoken, vocally.
Well, as you could probably tell, I'm pretty nervous because this is the first interview I've ever done.
Oh, really? I feel privileged. It's fine. You did a great job, and it's a great magazine. For anybody who's into paranormal investigations, and some of the other subjects. Do you get into things like witchcraft and things like that, or is it basically
definitely?
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
I know coming up in the it won't be in the Halloween issue, but in the winter issue, there's going to be an article from a lady that's going to basically give you different types of recipes. The witchcraft type stuff. That
kind of herbal stuff.
I'm not going to give too much away. So, yeah, definitely.
Cool.
I don't want to give too much away on that, but that's definitely something that's going to be coming up.
And that's coming up in the January edition. But you do have one going to print right now. So anybody who wants to get the latest issue, it's going to print real soon. So go by doorwayspublications.com. Go by there tonight, and it's only $20 for the year. You get 4 issues, and go by there right now. It's doorwayspublications.com. Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show with us.
Right. If anybody has any questions, that they want me to answer, they can just send me an email, which is on the website too, and I'll be happy to answer them.
Cool. Yeah, email Brian and tell him what a great job he's doing. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks a lot.
Hi, my name is Roughhouse, along with Paula and Anthony, and just a few minutes left of the show here officially. Got us. I got to find some stories here.
Paula, what happened with your fish today? What were you telling us?
Well, speaking of official, I've got a fishy story to tell here. I was watching my platies, Mickey Mouse platies. They're these little red fish with black tails.
They're called platies?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought they were mollies, but they're actually platies.
What's the difference?
And they keep having babies without a male in the tank. So.
Wow. Well,
that's not the story.
Could be.
Well, I was watching, and all of a sudden, a little bitty bubble comes out of the fish's butt.
Out of its butt?
Blip. I'm like, oh my God, my fish just farted.
Oh no! And I don't have any farting
sounds. It's a fish fart.
Thank God the lid wasn't open.
Did it smell?
I did not sniff it.
Oh, okay. Well, not that I can blame you.
So yes, fish fart, and they also cuddle.
They cuddle? What do you mean they cuddle?
Fish cuddle.
How
The
does
two
it-
platies will swim together, stay close, and when they go to sleep, and then their tails go around each other.
Aw, isn't that sweet? And that's how they're having babies.
No, they're both female.
Are you sure about that? Have you looked under the fins? How do you know? You're taking the word of somebody at a
I've heard-
fish store.
I've heard that they store sperm, and apparently they store it for forever.
Apparently. It's like one good night, and, goodness gracious.
Wow, a fish fart.
That's not
Yes.
right. Oy vey. Hey, coming up next week, we're going to be talking with Dash Beardsley. We've had Dash on the show before. He has a ghost tour in Galveston, Texas. And since Galveston was almost ground zero for Hurricane Ike here a few weeks ago, I don't know if anybody saw the pictures. Galveston, got messed up, and it's not the first time. One of the worst hurricanes ever recorded back in 1900 killed thousands of people in Galveston. So there's all kinds of ghost stories that come out of that area, and a lot of people died. I don't know if it was a lot. I don't know what the final count was over in that area, but there were some people that passed away in Galveston, and we wanted to check in with Dash and see how his ghost tour is going and how it looks around in that area. The week after that, the 23rd, Anthony's looking forward to this one. Murray Silver will be on the show.
I love Murray.
What's your affinity with Murray?
I've seen him at a couple of the ghost stocks. He's just an amazing speaker. You guys will love him. I can't wait. He has a lot of experience with the different religions. He's traveled with the Dalai Lama. He's personal friends with the Dalai Lama. Very spiritual guy. Very intelligent. He just did he was the keynote speaker at a Mensa gathering. So, just an amazing speaker. Very intelligent guy. It'll be a wonderful interview.
Cool. Well, we'll let you ask lots of questions. Like you haven't done that already, right? Coming up the week of Halloween, we'll be on the day before Halloween, October 30th. Brad Steiger. If you don't know who Brad Steiger is, you need to go to your local paranormal library or go to Amazon.com because he has over 120-something paranormal books that he and his wife Sherry have written over the years. Tons of paranormal books, cryptozoology books. She has books about communicating with animals. She has several of those, Sherry does. But Brad Steiger is scheduled to be on the day before Halloween on our Halloween extravaganza, October the 30th. So it ought to be a lot of fun. Well, that pretty much does it for us tonight. Join us again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will be here 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Anthony and Paula, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Pete, hopefully you'll get better, and cats get that internet fixed real soon. Hey, this is Roughhouse. Thanks for listening to this week's Parahub Radio Podcast. As always, you can hear us live every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, 3 a.m. if you happen to be in the UK. Just go to parahub.org and click on the chat. You can listen to us and talk to us while we're doing the show. Thanks again. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Doorways Magazine.
Journal of Horror and the Paranormal.
Our stories and columns as doorways to transport you to other places.
Some of those places may scare you,
Others make you sit back and think.
but all of them are here to take you out of your ordinary life for just a little while.
Where nothing follows the rules.
Where commonplace events have uncommon consequences.
Where the sound you hear
Where the sound you hear or the movement you see from the corner of your eye is just as scary and strange as your imagination says it might be.
Visit us at doorwaypublications.com.